All right. Hi, I'm Beth Rubus, and I am calling in from White Lake, Michigan.
And you're doing most of this work yourself. I love that.
I do. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we're looking at your fireplace, and I can see some challenges here. I get it. The gold on the fireplace is giving it away as a 1980s. I graduated in 1987, so I know what I'm talking about. But that's all detail and trim work, so that should be able to be peeled off, taken off, and then maybe that can be refinished. There's a lot of real good automotive finishes out there, a lot of colors available for high heat areas like this. So the other thing is that surround is kind of encroaching in on those vents, those return vents that are blowing hot air. That I would think take that off, and if you can shrink it back and not have it so big and overpowering, it'd be a nice.
Yeah, I could probably do that. Yeah.
And then the other thing is you've got these cool oak doors. I can see the oak door right there. You showed me those before. Those are throughout the house, and those are a feature. And so you don't want to compete with those with any kind of more oak detail in the sense of, oh, let's copy that oak and bring it over here, because the doors, I think, are exquisite and they just stand alone. But with that said, it'd be nice to do some kind of mantle up there. What if you go a different direction? You got that trim coming down right next to the fireplace, or the casing around the door. And then you've got obviously your kitchen right there. And how do you feel about doing something maybe a little different there with like a boxed barnwood mantle? That way, and the reason I say that is I worked a lot with barnwood. It never competes with the existing woods. You can put barnwood in any situation with any kind of wood. You've got engineered hardwood floors. You got those really cool reclaimed oak doors. Barnwood marries everything together.
Oh, yeah, I like the sound of that.
So I would think to do a big box, like a 6-inch deep box, and about maybe 6 or 7 inches high as well. So like a nice big square, but it can be a hollow, so it's not carrying all this weight. You just make a hollow barnwood box, and basically it hangs on the wall right there. And then you can add corbels if you think they're necessary.
I had not considered barnwood there. I like that. Do you have any recommendation on what to clean the carbon residue off of that stone?
Well, you can test the hidden stone area with a muriatic acid solution, and it might do it. You have to test the area that you won't see.
And is that something that I'll have to mask off the floor because it's probably going to chew into everything?
If you can do it real light and just dab it, and you shouldn't make a big mess with it. And one of my videos I recently did has a hammered steel edge, and it's a very simple way, and you'd be game for it because you're gung ho and I dig it. But it's taken, so you could wrap it with steel straps, and it could have kind of a hand hammered forged look to it as well.
I think I saw you do.
There you go. So so that's a nice thing. And the good thing about it, again, I'll say this, Beth, is that when you bring in like that barnwood look, it's super, super attractive, and it's super popular right now. But it's something that I've been working with for about 25 years, and it goes with any wood, anytime, anywhere, and it dresses up a place. So it's something I think you should consider. And what it is, basically, it's a hollow box beam. You've seen those before, but use barnwood instead of new wood.
No, I do. I like that a lot. And the hammered strapping sounds really nice because it's narrow. It'll blend in with the grout lines or whatever that is, and it's not going to overpower those vents.
Exactly. The strapping will go good with those doors because your doors are real heavy, hardy slab doors, and so that looks already in the house. You're not going to get rid of those, so stay the course.
So I'm thinking if that's the case, I'm wondering if I ought to go barnwood open shelving instead of upper cabinets in the kitchen.
That's a great call.
Well, I was thinking about the trendy factor, and it's really less expensive, right, to go open shelving.
It is, and it's super, super trendy right now. So obviously, it's easier to do open shelving and floating shelving, and less expensive than it is to do box cabinets. And you're right, it's super trendy, but also it'll bring that mantle over there. It'll make sense.
Yeah. And I can see the weathered, the metal hammered strapping for the supports.
Yeah, for the corbels, for the shelves, and all that stuff is value added in the sense that it's going to bring value to your house. Let's see, or hammered steel, trim it out with hammered steel, and then you got that same look running throughout.
I like this. I like this a lot.
So if you take the hammered steel and run with that, then you can trim out that fireplace surround if you have to cut it back, so it's not crowding those return vents, because that's where it really looks sloppy, is where it's overlapping the return vents. So if you can cut that back and then trim it out with some hammered steel, and again, that stuff you just get at your local hardware store. It takes a little bit of swinging the hammer, but really it adds a lot of beauty. As a matter of fact, on the first episode of my TV show, you'll see I did it, if you look close, around their fireplace.
So you just buy metal strapping. I just go to Home Depot and I start looking around.
Yeah. And whatever width you want, it's available. And 1/8 inch, 3/16, and then when you do it a lot, you can build up your forearm. That's what
I really dig this. Now I got to call the farm and say, hey, how can we get some really good wood out here? Because it's all out there, right? But that's the Dakota. So now I can make a trip out there.
That's cool. All right. Well, I want to see the end result. I want to see what you do with it. I want to see some pictures and some updates with you swinging the hammer and making some of this hammered steel and finding the barnwood. If you go find a barn and start peeling it off, shoot some pictures, shoot some video. All right. Well, good deal. Great talking to you. And I really do look forward to the finished product.
I really do too. I thank you so much, both of you. Really, this has been a really fun adventure.